All right, good evening, everyone. Tonight, Joe Waesco is going to present on the fouls common to the umpire position. Joe's been with the CFOA since 2006, and he's currently an umpire in the MEAC. Correct, Joe? Umpire?
Center judge or umpire. It
Center
depends on
judge
the
or
week.
umpire. Okay. All right, Joe. Take it away.
Well, thanks for the introduction. I appreciate you guys having me here, and I can't see right now who's here or who's not. Oh, there's 18 participants, so yay. So if at any point you guys have any questions, please feel free. I know some names and more than others and whatnot, but feel free to introduce yourself if you have a question or anything like that, and we're just going to start. So I believe that umpires and center judges or umpires here are absolutely essential to the game. We control the game. We are in charge of the game. The game flows through us, and anyone that believes anything differently, I'm not worried about what they say. But that being said, it's a team and a crew thing. So we want to make the game flow throughout the entire time. Doesn't spacebar usually make it go? Yeah, there we go. All right. So we manage the game. So I was going to go right into plays and the top common types of penalties, but I thought that it would be good to start with kind of where we stand on different plays, because I don't know the varying degrees of, is there anyone that's new? You don't have to, or I guess just say me and no one will really know unless they're like looking at it. But is there anyone that, so alignment on typical, on normal scrimmage plays, not scrimmage kicks, on scrimmage plays, you want to be somewhere between 7 and 10 yards back from the line of scrimmage. Okay. Sometimes they'll teach you to be closer. If someone disagrees with that, please feel free to go ahead and disagree, and we can talk about it right now as to why. But the logic behind it is they're a lot faster than us. And the wider view that we get, and I'm not sure if you guys can see me right now because I can't see if I'm yeah, okay, you can see me right now. So basically, the closer you are, the narrower your view gets, if you can see how I'm doing it on the screen. And as you back up, you have a wider vision as to what you're doing. So I typically stand about not 9 yards back on every single scrimmage play when I'm in the umpire position on the defensive side of the ball. You want to make sure that you have a view of the snap, because we have the guard center guard. And that's about it for the alignment there. Scrimmage kicks on punts, I will line up about 12 yards back. It gives them more time to run and for you to evade getting hit by them, because the last thing you want to do is get hit. So once that first set of guys, once those first set of gunners go by you, and the second wave that goes by, after that, and you feel safe, then you turn around and start managing the plays. Please be safe out there. I can't tell you how many times I see referees or umpires get hit on punt plays. And then for scrimmage or for field goals and extra point tries, you want to, I usually get a little closer, typically maybe about 3 yards, 4 yards, make sure I can see the ball. And then I'm looking for pull and shoots and things like that. So typically I start crouched, and I'll start with the whistle in my mouth. And then as soon as the play goes, so an athletic looking crouched, looking at the ball for the snap. And then as the play starts to, as soon as the ball snap, I'll drop the whistle out of my mouth, and then I won't use the whistle again for the entire play. The only thing I'm looking for there is a snap infraction or a false start that the wings miss. So any questions with alignment there? All right, spots. So spots, we want to start on a line. Typically our fields are lined, but if you only have big lines and you can start it on a big line, that helps a lot for your 10 yards. If not, if you can start, some of these high schools have turf fields and whatnot. We want to try to start on a line. Now, if we have a penalty or something that's close to the end line, we don't typically have kickers that can do that. But if we're close to the not the end line, the goal line, then put it at the spot if we have to. But in general, use one of those ticks to start it. Anything in between plays or in between downs, first, second, third, fourth, feel free to or first, second, third, feel free to put it in between or where the ball has where they gained, wherever the H or the L put their foot. Talk to your H and L before the game and let them know that's what you're going to do. If they put their foot on a tick, that's where you're going to put it. If they're telling you they're always going to put it on a tick, then that's up to them. You kind of follow what they do. One place that we can manage the game, if a H or an L, and I saw Jason in there a little earlier, but if Jason comes in and goes, "Hey, I have short," I don't put that. Let's say we're going from the 20 to 30-yard line. I don't put that on anywhere near the 30-yard line. I put it a foot back, or I make sure that it's very clear that anyone looking at that line would know that it's not there. We typically don't do or know that they didn't get the line to gain. I don't put it a whole yard back or anything crazy, but I make sure it's a foot back or 2 feet back. If they're telling me it's short, it's got to be clearly short. These are just ways to keep the game going, because we want the game to stay within ideally 2 hours. Any questions or comments on spots before I move on from that? All right. Feel free to stop me at any time if you guys have anything. Penalty enforcements. We have to know the rules better than everyone else. I have my rule book. Whoops. Well, I did have my rule book, but I've been going through the rule book right here. I go through it every year, and I keep it near me. It gets a lot of use. Make sure that when you have a penalty, and we'll go over some of the common penalties. If we have a false start, we know it's going 5. So when I if we're on the 35-yard line, I'll show the H and the L 1. We're going back from the 35 to the 30-yard line, and there I go. I don't count ticks. If you need to do that, feel free. I don't walk 1 yard each step. I just go from the 35 to the 30. It's a previous spot penalty. So when I have my and I don't have the my markers on my hand, but I make sure that I go back to where the spot was snapped. So you should always have 2, man, I forgot what they're called. Anyone? See if people are
indicator.
Yeah, down indicators. I use 2 down indicators. One, my left hand does my downs, and my right hand does my my spot on the field. So and just for future reference, I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 being closest to the press box side, and 5 is always the farthest from the press box side. So it goes 1 left goal post, midfield, right goal post, and then the away team side. Okay. So you gotta be able to know those things. If we have holding on the 42-yard line, and you're going across the center or the midfield line, you go from the 42 to the 48. However you can do it so that it's quick. Now remember, this is one of the more important parts of the game. So when we do it, we'll say 2 is for 10 yards, 3 is for 15 yards. I do this for spot, and then half the distance to the goal. If we have any of those, we show them to the H and the L, and then we mark them off. The H will go with you, and then the L will follow up. And if you all don't land at the same spot, do it again. As you progress and get better, go to the 45. Let's say we're going 15 yards, we go back to the 25. So at that 25, I'll just go to the 25 and I'll wait. You know, the H is usually pretty much right there with me. And then I'll wait on the L. If I'm sure of it, I'll put it down. But you can never, it never hurts to just hold the ball until everyone's there and then set it down. You're in no rush. Ideally with penalty enforcement, my goal in any game is to, you know, if Chris is the referee, I don't know if we have any other referees on the call, but if you referee, I want you, let's back up for a second with penalty enforcement. Okay, penalty enforcement, someone throws a flag, right? They get all excited and they come running in. We want to teach them to prelim their penalties if they can. So if we have one flag down, hey, we got pass interference on the offense, and then we just need the number really. If we have two flags down, those two guys need to go to each other and talk and come out with what they have. So say both people have like a false start. We don't want to prelim those, or let's say one has false start and one has offside. We don't want to each one of us show that. We want to come in, talk, and then give that information to the referee. As umpire, I make sure when they're coming in, because they people get excited, the back judge, the H, the L, yourself, if you can manage it, don't get excited. Go and tell them, hey, is your spot right? Like, is your flag in the right spot before you get over there? Yeah, all right. They have them move it, and then they can go in and talk to the referee. But ideally, prelim, move your flag to the appropriate spot if you had to throw it a long way. Then go in and they're going to talk to the referee. You listen at that time. I'll just stand next to them, listen. Okay, so you have holding on the offense. We're going from your flag's at the 32, so we're going to go from the 32 to the 42. And it's still going to be second down. I'll look at my down indicator and let them know. So that way the referee that's kind of repeating it to their head. That's how they're going to, you know, holding offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down. By the time they get done announcing that to everyone, I want to have the ball down after the penalty enforcement or pretty close to that time. So that's kind of an indicator as to how your penalties are going. If you can manage the penalty enforcements that way, it'll keep the time of your game down, which, you know, gets you home sooner and whatnot. Any questions there? I might have missed stuff, but all right, everyone's good, I guess.
If anyone has any questions, they can type them in the chat. I am monitoring the chat for you, Joe.
Oh, okay, awesome. Thank you. I forgot to mention that. So some of the common penalties that we have are false starts because that's what we'll see, or snap infraction with the center. If someone flinch, we're in a good position to see that as guard, center, guard. Holding are going to be our typical calls, and then personal fouls such as hands to the face. Anyone else have any more common fouls that I didn't? I mean, I know there's a whole plethora of fouls. I'm just saying these are the common ones we'll probably most commonly get. All right, and then the not so common penalties of defensive holding. So typically when a defensive holding happens is, that screen pass when they go over the middle of the field or to one of the sides, and that running back, they fake it to the running back or whatnot, and that running back's going to come out and it parts ways. The line just kind of lets them go, and all of a sudden you see the defensive lineman reach out and grab that running back. If that was the person that the quarterback is trying to throw the ball to, just be aware of that type of defensive holding. That's kind of the more typical one that we would see in our high school games. And then chop blocks. Chop blocks, I believe the rule is that they can, not for chop blocks, but they can instantly go low, and that's it, correct? Anyone want to?
Yeah,
right. The people in the blocking zone,
your free blocking zone,
the free blocking zone. Exactly. So since they can immediately block low, one of the things I do is, we have our 3 guys, but we can see all 5. If someone goes low, I can't make note of that. All right, they're going low. Because typically, if you have a team that never goes low, then you don't really have to worry about a chop block. Or if someone goes low, you'll see it. And what'll happen is, and I'm gonna get my this is one of the key things for, how do I see? Let me know if y'all can see me. Can you all see me standing? Yes, no?
Yes.
We see
Okay.
see your
Alright,
torso.
so- Yeah, that's
We
fine.
don't see your
You
head
don't need to see-
anymore.
I want you to see my torso, so that's the reason. So basically you'll have a high block, and what'll happen when you have a chop block is you'll see this is what will happen to the guy that got chop blocked. You'll see that. So they'll be engaged high, and because they're engaged high up here, I'm kind of ducking down. When they're engaged high up here, when they get hit low, they'll buckle like that. That's what you're looking for in a chop block usually. When you see that, that's an indicator of a chop block. I'm not saying it was or anything like that. They might have just both went low, or something. But in general, that's kind of what will happen to the defender that has gotten chop blocked. So, all right, we went over those, and then one thing I wanted to make mention before we go to plays, because I was just going to show plays of different types of penalties, and we can just go over different aspects of the game during those plays. But anyways, with the referees, we're the referees there, and they announce all the penalties and this and that. Be a best friend to your referee. Help the referee. You want to do the things that the referee is not. If they're not, if they have 3 guys coming to them, listen. Help the referees make better decisions. If help where others can't. We're in a good position in the middle of the field where we can help the referee. And I can't think of any particular plays. I'm sure I will a little bit later. But you want to get a good relationship, get a good rapport, be there on time, be there early, and start talking to your referee, how they like to manage their game and what you can do to better help them. Because ideally, the better we manage the game, the quicker the game goes, the quicker we get home, get paid, things like that. That's not all what the game's about, but in general, everyone at that field that's not a kid playing or a parent watching is like, all right, when's this game going to get over? If you ever talk to administration, that's their goal, just get out safely and make, hopefully no one's hurt. All right. Any questions right now before we go to plays?
Hey, Joe, just a quick observation. A good one where the umpire helps out a lot is that illegal man downfield, that they can, have a pretty good look to see if that's the case.
Right. So let's go to that play. That is a good spot to do it, but I caution there. Let me see if I have a illegal man downfield. Give me a second. Ineligible downfield. Okay. So you have to mind me, I turned off the sound on these. So when you have an ineligible downfield, hold on, where's my play button? All right, there it is. All right. All right, so all these plays are from the SEC, and I'll make them bigger and whatnot. This is an ineligible downfield, and the key, it's 3 yards, correct? I just want to make sure. What is ineligible? What's the rule for you have to know the rules. So what's the rule for an eligible receiver downfield in our league?
You can't be beyond the expanded neutral zone, which is 3 yards.
Which is 3 yards, right? So on this play, all right, so first off, since we're looking at this play right now, the referee's in good position. He's at 8 yards down the field, right? The 23, and we're at the 31. So he's deep, nice and deep. He can see the snap. He's got a nice view of the guard, center guard. And we're going to have an ineligible downfield. So the key to an eligible downfield, it can't be past the expanded neutral zone when there's a key component to the ineligible downfield. When what? I'm not sure if you said it or not.
When the
When the
pass
ball's
is
passed.
When the ball is passed. Okay, so we're gonna play this play. And he threw the ball. All right. Let me back it up a little bit. All right. When he threw the ball, where is this offensive lineman is good, right? He's only 3 yards downfield. Everyone agree? All right, I'll take, if you disagree, you let me know. Anyways, so what happens is we throw this, and I'm not sure if they have a flag for this or not. Let's see. Yep, so we have an ineligible downfield. So here's the key for how we deal with this. Where's my pause? All right. All right, so the H or the L, they have some responsibility for this as well, correct?
Yes.
All right.
yes
So-
and no, though, because we're in a 5-man, Joe. Sometimes they may not be as helpful.
Right. So there's a couple thoughts on the ineligible downfield. And again, anything, just while we're discussing these things, anything I say, feel free to take it, use it. If you don't like it, don't use it. Okay. If you want to argue about it, we can, I'll say my piece, you say your piece, and then we'll just move on. But we're not going to have long arguments about it. This is more philosophy. All right. So when this ball is thrown, and you think, and there's a person downfield, and we're not gonna worry about the H or the L throwing it. Okay. If you think the person's downfield, you're probably wrong. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because I would ask you the question. So when when you see someone downfield, right, you have to look back at the ball to see if the ball's still in his hand. If the ball's gone and he's 4 yards downfield, he probably only stepped 1 yard after the ball was thrown. Okay. So I would almost give them to the 4 yard mark. I would almost give them to a 5, in all honesty. And these guys, the high school players in our area, for the most part, are so good and so fast that they can be blocking someone. And by the time, like, if we watch this play out on this, like, look, now he's 5 yards downfield. By the time this guy looks at it, he's like, oh man, this guy's 5 yards downfield. This is obvious, right? But in reality, by the time when the ball was thrown, it wasn't an ineligible downfield. So ideally, and we can go through a few of these plays, or you can just tell me that I've run this one into the ground. But ideally, you want to make sure that you can if you can still see me, you can reach out and touch the person. If you know the ball got thrown when you can touch the person at 8 yards, you know that that's an ineligible downfield. Otherwise, did that person gain an advantage by this pass being thrown? And I'm just, so let's say this ball gets caught. Did that person get an advantage by blocking this guy down here?
No.
So why are we going to have an ineligible downfield? I know it's the rule. I get it. If you see it, feel free to call it, take what you want. And, but philosophy wise, make sure it's there. You want these fouls to be big. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns there.
Joe, you probably have time for 1 or 2 more plays. So,
all right, well, let's go to a holding.
Hey,
Man,
Joe, real quick.
Yes.
Hey, so in high school, we're taught to get to the line of scrimmage when we read pass. So what's your advice on that?
Don't do it. To be honest, it's a safety thing. The reason why I say don't do it. Why are you being taught to go to the line of scrimmage? Because we have you have the line of scrimmage in case he runs past the line and throws a pass.
And illegal
Because-
throw downfield, attention to ground with the new attention to grounder rules, the umpire is going to be a key in that factor as well to see if the pass was thrown over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the wings are downfield, so and the referees in the backfield, so we're the only ones on the line of scrimmage.
And it's
I would
not a
say-
sprint. It's not
I
a
would-
sprint to the line of scrimmage. It's you want.
Yeah.
It's a Moser.
Yeah, yeah.
So if it's a run play, we don't need to be at the line of scrimmage, right? If it's a pass play and you see the quarterback running. All right, so one thing I would use is, use the line. It always depends on if you have a good field, but on the same token, if they don't have a very lined field, how are you going to tell whether it's past the line or not anyways? But let's say it's at the 47. I know if he goes past the 47 here and fully past it, right? Or is it a plane? I believe it's fully past it, correct? Both feet in the ball?
Yep. Everything.
Yep.
All the
So-
way past.
Right. So if he's not stepping on the 48, we're good. So I would go very cautiously up towards the line if that's your desire. And then if they do run out one way or another and pass the ball, here, make it bigger, sorry. If they do run out and pass the ball, you can kind of step in, banana in this way so that you're closer and have a better view of that line while not getting killed by these guys that are blocking. Is that helpful? Is that a good idea? Or does someone have a better way?
The other thing I'll just add is if I'm unsure in real time, I'll beanbag it. And then when the
Exactly. That's
play-
what I'm saying. Right.
And then when the
Yeah.
play's over, I can go look and see if he was past the line of scrimmage or not.
Right. And if he throws the ball out here, you don't have to throw the beanbag all the way out here. You can just throw it to the line where he was. And then when the play's over, just go back here to the beanbag and go, oh, he's on the 49-yard line. He had to have been past the line. So the referee, that might be something you want to work with the referee as to how to do that particular play or how they might want that. But I wouldn't go rushing in there because you're going to get killed. All right. You said I had a few minutes, so I'm just going to do one holding play. All right. This guy's nice and deep. Again, if you want to start at 6 yards and be closer, that's fine too. We're watching for a holding. I did not see a holding. Didn't see a holding. Sorry.
Left tackle.
Left tackle. Let's look again. So left tackle's here.
In terms of big enough.
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We don't have that wouldn't be big enough. He stays in the frame, even though he went outside. As soon as a lineman goes out like this, it's called a lobster block, and that gets your antenna up. That could be a hold or could not be a hold. Now, if that guy's just happy just standing there, which in that play he was, we don't have a holding there. It's just not big enough. All right, last one, Chris. Cool.
Cool.
So again, the umpire is 7 back, so he's a little close, but that's fine. That might be where we're going to be because we have that line responsibility. All right, so real quick, first thing I would see out of the corner of my eye is this guy ending up low. So I keep that as a head. When you're looking at this play, and I'm not sure if we have let me see if we have a through the line view. We do not. Wish I should have got those. This will open up. This spot right here will open up to you. So you're line guy will take this side of the hole, and you should be focused here and here on these line people that are coming out. And then these guys are this guy's leading the charge. So you're definitely going to go watch him after you clear these blocks. So we'll keep going. So we have a holding by a deep guy, or holding by a line guy, we'll say. So, all right. So so you want to rotate kind of like on a stick. You're watching the block here and here as much as you can. And once you clear them, right? So right here, you would be clearing them. And the only block that matters at this point, once he clears here, is what? This block right here. So you go find something else to block. We don't have spot. We don't have to worry about face mask. There's, this guy's watching for face mask and the back judge. So go find a spot to officiate. So as soon as it clears, we go look up this way, and we would see that this isn't big enough for a hold. This whatever this is up here. Like, was that big enough to have a flag on for a holding out there? Now that's if you see it. Remember, you want to see, this is the last thing I'm going to say. If you want to see start, develop, finish of a play, see the whole play is what they call it. So if you don't see the start of the play, like where they first engage, so right here, if you don't see this first engagement, which is legal, and then you see that, if you only see this part right here, you're going to get fooled into a hold. So if you don't see the whole play, don't throw a flag. That being said, there's my information. If you ever want to talk plays or call me, you can ask about anything, even random stuff. And there was a chat question. Oh, he was just overpowered. Yeah.
So
Agreed.
any questions for Joe before we wrap up, guys?
Yeah, I got a few real quick, Joe. This is Brian,
Yeah.
by the way. So,
Hi, Brian.
how's it going? So, can you just touch on snap infractions and what you're looking for in different examples of snap infractions, as well as in your pregame when you're going with the referee looking for illegal equipment and different examples? If you could touch up on that. And then the last thing was just if you were to just go through a whole scenario of your keys all the way from start to finish on a play, whether it be run or pass, just to see where your eyes are looking at on different scenarios, or just the three I had for you.
So that was a lot. Yeah, I can. Hold on one second, Chris. If you want to leave it open, and do you have something else you guys start doing at 7:30 or?
No, just trying to keep it short.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if anyone wants to leave, you're not going to offend me or anything, but please feel free to message me or whatever. All right. So we'll start one at a time. So pre-game, you go with the referee. Hey, hey, are they properly equipped? Yes. Okay. If I don't see something blatant, like if I don't see something, I don't worry about it. I mean, if I see that a kid's not playing with his mouthpiece in, what does he want to lose teeth? I'll tell him, put it, hey, you need to put your mouthpiece in.
As far as equipment, casts, little things.
I just
like
say,
that,
hey, do you need
examples.
any? I say, do you have any casts for me to check? And I check that. If I see any knee pads or anything like that, I check that. But other than that, I don't do much. I don't do much other than that. They're equipped the way that either the school can afford what they're supposed to do, or I try to make sure the eye shields are right though, because we definitely want to know if they have a concussion. We want them to be clear. That's one thing that I think needs to be for sure. But if a kid doesn't want to wear knee pads or whatnot, and they're just high or whatnot, I mean, their shorts just might be too short. We're in high school football, so I don't know. I bring it to the attention of the coach and let them handle it as best as they can.
Great, Joe. Thanks for your time tonight. If you guys have any other questions, Joe's contact information is there, and please feel free to reach out to him. Again, thank you very much for your time this evening, Joe.
Yep, no problem.